Thank you for tuning in to tonight's game. Your game is coming up next. But here's some information from the Indiana High School Athletic Association.
6 easy ways to become an MVP. And by MVP, we mean most valuable parent. Like all of us, the parents of high school athletes tend to protect their children from adversity, or they overly involve themselves by advocating for their success. But when they do, they're negating the value of participating in high school sports. Among other lessons, high school sports teach teenagers to take nothing for granted, how to overcome obstacles, and that an extraordinary commitment of time and effort is required in order to reach goals and experience achievement. High school sports also encourage independence and self-sufficiency, attributes that are needed to be successful in life. It's natural for parents to love their children, and it's important to support them in as many ways as possible. With this in mind, here are 6 easy ways that you can be the MVP of your child's high school team. Number 1, attend your children's games as often as possible. Nothing demonstrates interest and involvement more than being there. And be sure to invite Grandma and Grandpa to come along with you. Number 2, cheer for all the kids on the team, not just your own. Here's a test for you. Do you know all the players on your child's team? Could you say hello to them by their first name? Embracing the entire team is a great way to show that your interest is sincere. Number 3, be a resource for your child's team. Does a teammate need help with transportation? Is the team trying to raise money for new uniforms? Is someone needed to organize a pizza party before the tournament starts? Maybe you can help. Number 4, try not to criticize the coach or the officials in front of your child. Hey, you're human, and there may be times when you need to vent. But be careful when and to whom you do it. Criticizing the coaching staff undermines its credibility and tends to put your child in the middle. And games are seldom won or lost because of an official's call. Remember, coaches and officials are objective. Most parents are not. Empower your child to talk with the coach about concerns. Everybody wants more playing time, and understandably so. But encourage your children to have that conversation with their coaches instead of you doing it for them. Giving teenagers the confidence and conviction to speak up for themselves is one of the greatest benefits of participating in high school sports. Number 6, focus on the life lessons your children are learning, not on win-loss records or how many points they're scoring. According to the NCAA, only about 2% of all high school athletes win a sports scholarship, and the average value of it is less than $11,000. But every child will benefit from the lessons they've learned as a result of participating in high school sports for the rest of their lives. It's difficult being the parent of a high school athlete. There's far more emotion and social pressure involved than is ideal. But if you follow these 6 pointers, not only will your children love and respect you, but so will their teammates and coaches. And you might even be named MVP. Thank you for your support of high school athletics in Indiana. Stay tuned now. The Indiana SRN game is next. Indiana SRN, where you're always in the game.
And a pleasant good evening, everyone, and welcome to another exciting edition of Indiana High School Volleyball here on Indiana SRN as the Circle City Conference journey continues. As the Covenant Christian Warriors, 1-9 on the season, host the red-hot Heritage Christian Eagles, 7-1 on the year. Hi again, everybody. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers here on Andrew Smith Court inside Covenant Christian Gymnasium here in Covenant Christian High School. We've got another good one for you this evening. Coach, both these teams in a way looking to get back to winning ways, at least in conference play anyway, as the last time we saw the Heritage Christian Eagles, they are picked apart by Brebeuf on the road, and Covenant is still desperately trying to find its footing, not only in this conference, but in the regular season as a whole.
Yeah, you go 0-2 in this conference as Covenant Christian is. You need a lot of help if you're going to win the conference. If you're Heritage Christian, you stub your toe. You still got Guerin on the schedule. You still got Roncalli on the schedule. Maybe something to help you. But this should be a good matchup. You got to throw out the records because it's a conference game. It's a rival game as well. It seems like every single time we do a volleyball or a football game, it's a rival game.
Right.
But that's what Indiana SRN brings you. I find it very interesting tonight. The atmosphere, good crowd on hand. A lot of people know that Heritage Christian was ranked number 1. Now they're ranked 5th. One loss. Can you imagine?
That's tough.
Yeah, it is. But it should be a fun game. It should be a fun game for our fans at home to watch.
First thing off the bat for you bring that ranking into question. That's a solid talking point going into this ball game. Brebeuf's a good team. There's no doubt about that. At the very least in this conference, they are a good team at near the top of the Circle City Conference. Is 4 rankings justified in a tough loss on the road?
I don't think so, but a lot of that is just coaches and see what the score was. It was 3-1, and the 2 games they lost were really lopsided. So you got to say, okay, is Brebeuf that good, or is Heritage not as good as we thought they were? So you got to look at that. But Debbie and I got to go to Yorktown on Saturday. We saw some really good volleyball. And I tell you what, the state of Indiana is not hurting for the game of volleyball. A lot of good teams.
On the Heritage Christian side of the ball, as we stay there, one of the players to watch for tonight, as she has been all year long, is the junior in the middle, Raven Colvin. She's been such a dominant force, especially in front of the net, whether it's for a spike or a nice soft touch shot. She was pretty much neutralized by the Brebeuf game plan last week. How do they get her involved early and have her stay involved?
I think you put her in a position, but I think you get to move her a little bit. Maybe have the setter go back door instead of head on. She hits the ball very well, and I think she could hit the ball anywhere. But I think she's got to get in the flow. And as she goes, so does Heritage Christian go. So it'll be very interesting how Covenant Christian, are they going to let them play deep and bring the ball up, or are they going to play the close game? If you play the close game, you got 5'10", 6 foot, 6'1". Man, it's hard to compete with the front line.
Another player to watch for on the Heritage Christian side, of course, Elizabeth Phillips, the junior. She was a leader throughout that Brebeuf contest, despite the fact that they did come out on the losing side of things, and great chemistry overall with the entire Heritage Christian roster. On the other side of things, this Covenant Christian team has had a bumpy road so far, to say the least, to start this season. A couple mixtures of seniors, but primarily freshmen and sophomores on the roster. We know how big of a win this would be for them, hosting one of the top teams in the state. How do they get that done tonight?
Well, you got Danny Newport. You brought Danny Newport up last week as a freshman. She got a little bit of her feet. Didn't play well this weekend, but is playing better. Bella Dart is another freshman. You got to get your seniors involved. I think you got to have them buy into what you're trying to do. Because right now, at 1-9, you really feel like there's no hope.
Right.
So there's got to be some spark. So even if you don't win tonight, it's how you play and how you get your kids involved. And that's the key, to get them involved and have them buy into your system.
We referenced a lot about the ranking that Heritage Christian had prior to that loss against Brebeuf last week. That ranking, would plummet with a loss tonight. Covenant Christian side of things, it's an ultimate morale boost if you're able to get a win. But for Heritage, there's trap games in any sport. You can't overlook this Covenant Christian team.
I tell you what, you go from 1 to 5, and you lose tonight, you're down to probably 10. It's like, what do I do?
Right.
And you're still 7-2 after tonight. If you lose this game, you win this game, maybe you go up a little bit. Who knows? The ranking, when I coached, I didn't care about the rankings. I cared about the end of the season and the second season, and that was the sectional, regional, semi-state, state finals.
I'm sure the coaches on the floor tonight feel the same way as the coach Keith Myers does as well. Throw the rankings out the window for the most part. They're mainly just there for the chitter-chatter. What really matters is once we get into postseason play. We're going to step up for the first time here on our pregame show. When we come back, we'll have more, including coaches' keys to the game and a deeper look inside this matchup. All that and much more coming up after this. You're listening and watching Indiana High School Volleyball here on Indiana SRN.
How does a good man become even better? By working out? Or by working his way up the corporate ladder? By changing his diet? Or by changing his style? By traveling the world? Or by staying perfectly still? For 300 years, we've helped good men become the best versions of themselves through a dedicated fraternity and by taking an oath to live a life of integrity, service, and brotherly love. Men who are as committed to each other and their families as they are to our noble cause. In the end, we don't just make men better, we make them Masons. Not just a man, a Mason.
Welcome back inside Covenant Christian High School on Andrew Smith Court. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. So pleased you've chosen to spend part of your evening with us as we get set for more volleyball action between Covenant Christian and Heritage Christian. Coach, before we dive any further into this matchup, what are your thoughts for both teams and your keys to success in a formula that would require a second win for Covenant Christian and an 8th win on the season for Heritage?
Kind of talked to both coaches this afternoon as we were eating some delicious nachos. Thank you very much,
Nice.
Covenant Christian's athletic director and concession stand. Keys for the game for Heritage Christian. They need to go to a quick start. Coach really thought that they played well game number 1 against Bubuff, and then they lost focus. So she wants them to get off to a quick start and stay focused. They got to play in the system, and you know this, Jimmy, as we pointed it out a couple times, where Bubuff just drew them to the weak side and then all of a sudden attacked them and then went to the strong side, and then at the end of the game went to the middle of the floor and there was no answer. So you got to stay in the system, and then you can't be quiet. You got to communicate. You got to talk. She really feels their communication skills have lacked the last couple of games, and really I think as a coach sometimes you don't want to lose, but it didn't hurt her that they did lose because they had a nice little heart-to-heart talk. And you got to love it when coaches get you fired up about what you need to do. I think also Friday they had a bake sale for the football game, and that team unity, as you very well know, team unity does really well, especially over brownies, chocolate chip cookies, anything like that.
Anytime there's sweets and snacks involved, but you're
ready.
exactly right, though, especially on any – it doesn't matter what the sport is. Anytime you can get – quality bonding time off the floor or off the field, it can pay huge dividends for your team psyche and team morale overall.
Covenant Christian keys, they need to slow down their big people. They need to slow down. They are very well aware of Phillips. They are very well of Rachel Coven. What's her name?
Yes, Raven Colvin.
They're much aware of Raven Coven. They also know that Gracie Nedbetter is now their libero, and they know that she can put the ball in play. So got to slow down those guys. Got to play better defense. Got to go to the board. Got to go to not the board. You got to go to the net and follow through, and then limit your unforced turnovers. If you do a better job, unforced turnovers has hurt them in the last couple of games. And I apologize, Gracie. It's Ledbetter is her name. So it should be a fun game. Tonight's officials, sponsored by the Indiana High School Athletic Association. They hired them, and Earl Ridlin will be on the floor, and Todd Jones will be our guy on the ladder. Very interesting to see those guys. It's we've done volleyball now. This is our fourth, fifth game, something like that. We're not seeing the same guys over and over again. There is shortage of officials, and we need officials that want to be part of that. contact Sandra Walters at the Indiana High School Athletic Association. Sandra's a good girl. Tell her you want to be official. Tell her coach sent you.
There you go.
And maybe I can get something from her. But, we need officials. Contact the Indiana High School Athletic Association. And if you love this game or any sport, it's nice to be involved.
Yeah, anytime you can be involved in it, we appreciate it, as do all the fans and the students on the floor as well. We're going to take our final break here on the pregame show. When we come back, we'll have Covenant Christian 1-9 taking on Heritage Christian 7-1, and it's all on Indiana SRN.
When Margaret and I decided to sell the old estate here, we had only one choice in signage. Logan Street signs and banners. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore, but rather located on 10th Street on the south side of Noblesville. Well, we sold the old beauty, and we were able to buy this wonderful estate. And we had so much money left over, I was able to buy this beautiful 1968 Eldorado Cadillac for Margaret. Only 472,000 miles. Margaret loves it because it's got those big seats and that heavy-duty suspension to support her svelte frame. Next time you're looking for signs or banners, call old Jim at Logan Street Signs and Banners, 773-7200. Conveniently not located on Logan Street anymore.
I think at Covenant there's, especially at all the fine arts, whether it's in the art or after the concerts or the productions, there's always a feeling of worship surrounding everything, and it's hard to describe, but it can bring people to tears, like the performers or the audience. Like last year after the Christmas concert, I saw my dad cry just because it was so touching. Growing up as the youngest, I've done everything with them, and so getting to come to high school with them and do theater with them, it was just one of those other things that you get to do together as siblings.
Getting to do choir and theater is such a big family. It's really special, and people are always there to encourage you and actually love you. It's not just like shallow compliments, it's true friendship and genuine love.
So it's a lot of fun to be able to help each other out and to just be there with each other during all of these things.
Something about Covenant music that I've noticed and Covenant theater is that the teachers and leaders of the projects we're working on, our concerts or music, they never stop working harder. There's never a point where they're just like, it's fine, it's good enough. But we keep striving towards excellence, and I think you hear that at concerts and performances.
Covenant is worth it because you can be yourself, and there's always a family for you. So if you're on the fence with whether or not you think you'll fit in, there's always someone who's going to fit in there with you. And there's always people who's going to be willing to love you. And it's just a great place. And one of those things where, like, if you're on the fence, come and experience it, because nobody can describe how great it is.
I'm Sarah. I'm Hannah.
I'm Leah. I'm Rachel.
We're the Davidson sisters, and fine arts is a reason Covenant is a fit for us.
Welcome back inside Covenant Christian High School. We're going to step out briefly as we finish with the prayer and the national anthem. Then we'll have service for you between Covenant Christian and Heritage Christian on Indiana SRN.
From the moment that I met Reed as a sophomore, I learned a lot about him, the reason why he wanted to come to Covenant, the initiative that he took to come here. He cares about other people and cares about relationships, cares about his academic work. So just that opportunity to really get to know him on a personal level and talk to him about things that are not school related is a really cool opportunity.
It really makes school more enjoyable, to be honest. You have someone to come to school and like you want to listen to this person teach. Then when I came here, like I wake up and I don't even think about school. I just think it's like another day, I enjoy it here. I enjoy all the teachers because you have a relationship with everyone. Everyone knows each other. It's like a small little community. It's nice.
Here at Covenant, everybody stresses the relational aspect of the school. So you do really get to know each student individually, Whereas, if you're at a big school and you've got 40 kids in a classroom, it's really hard to get to know everybody at a really personal level. As a student, you will find a teacher or two that you will really connect with at a one-on-one level.
Hi, my name is Reed Replogle.
My name is Chris Stevenson.
And the teacher-student mentorship is the reason why Covenant is a fit for me.
Welcome back to Covenant Christian High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach, Keith Myers, as we're just about set to get underway between the Covenant Christian Warriors and the Heritage Christian Eagles here in this Circle City Conference matchup. We mentioned coming into this one, Heritage Christian 7-1 on the year. Meanwhile, the Covenant Christian Warriors sit at 1-9, searching for answers left and right. Hopefully, it comes in this, one of their rare home matches they've had so far on the calendar.
You look at the 1-9, and just 2 years ago, this team at this juncture of the season was 9-0. So you go back-to-back state finals. You lose state finals, so your state runner-up as their banner in the gym. You're a state runner-up 2 years in a row. And now all of a sudden, all those kids are gone, and now you got the young girls that are coming at. And now you have to learn how to win again, and
right.
and sometimes that's really difficult. Sometimes that takes you a year. Sometimes that takes you a couple years. But one thing I do know is Coach Binky will not let these girls rest. They will work hard to be competitive tonight, and because this is conference pride, and you and I talked about how important that is, and we'll see how well they play the first game here.
Absolutely. I mean, there comes a point in time during any season, especially at the high school level, really any sports level, honestly, as we wait service for the Heritage Christian Warriors. It'll belong to Gracie Ledbetter. We'll hold that thought for 1 second. Nice diving opportunity. Ledbetter will bump it back over. Covenant will respond. Another bump over. Action in front of the net. And that one's kept in play, hit out wildly by Elizabeth Phillips. Anyway, there comes a point in time where any sporting event, doesn't matter what it is, you look record-wise, you realize this isn't our year to go win a title, but this is still our year to grow and become better and better as the season goes on and into next year. And so even if this is a rough go of it on paper for Covenant Christian record-wise, Coach Binky's, you're right, not going to put the foot off the pedal, going to keep pushing things forward, keep making sure that each match they are better than the previous one.
Yep. You want to serve each other. One of the things that I always taught our team is your servanthood, what you do with your community as well.
Right.
And Coach Binky has that very well in hand as well, as we got 1-1 score here.
Covenant Christian did draw first blood on the outshot by Elizabeth Phillips. Colvin, soft touch in front of the net. Covenant will try to keep it alive. They do. There's Phillips. Let's go to fake to Colvin, and instead a cross-court shot by Haley. To make that, Kenzie Myers, is down for the first lead of the ball game for Heritage.
First time we've seen Kenzie Myers in the starting rotation for Heritage Christian, so Coach Thomas is mixing it up a little bit and see what she has in store tonight.
Not a bad stage of the season to take a look at what you've seen in practice and maybe give somebody some juice in the starting lineup.
Yep.
Myers taking advantage so far. Other side of things, Ledbetter shot is wild, bounces off the roof.
Pinball.
That one they'll play on with. It's always interesting whatever venue we go to see what the house rules are for contact with the ceiling. And a nice spike on the far right side. I believe that was Elizabeth Schaefer there to make the play, either Schaefer or Sanaya Borum.
I think that was Schaefer did a nice job to go across the court. Heritage Christian filling out the game here a little bit, 2-2.
Sanaya Borum service. Ledbetter receives.
Nice.
Spike down and good that time for Olivia Valentine.
You notice the rotation of the ball, Jimmy. The rotation of the ball switched in most of that. That's very excellent. And then you just tacked the net. Covenant Christian needs to play up on that opposite side.
Gives them the 3-2 lead. Be Paige Hickey, the junior, her service. Little jump serve straight away. Spike off the net. Diving for that was Ledbetter. Keep it alive. Phillips, soft touch, could not get over the net. We're tied at 3.
I think Heritage Christian plays better if they just attack instead of trying to be the finesse.
And maybe, we haven't seen, at least I haven't seen a lot of them since the Brebeuf match, but maybe there's adjustments if we were too aggressive before. Maybe they're overthinking their game plan. Colvin with the attack. Action in front of the net leads to the Heritage point.
How about that?
I think you're right, Coach, by the way. They should go back to what they're best at, which is pounding the ball into the floor. But finesse shots are good in moderation.
Yeah, we're not 7-1.
It's fair. It's a fair point. We're also not 1-9.
That's true. Well, I could be 0-9, but
me too. Raymond Colvin gets the ace on the misplay that time on the return by Covenant Christian. So it'll be 5-3, largest lead of the ball game for Heritage. And one of our players to watch for, Raven Colvin, the junior, has her service. Overhand serve, almost another ace. It will be. Another awkward play that time on the return attempt by Covenant, and 2 aces in a row for Raven Colvin. 6-3 your score. Colvin measures again, and that one tried to ride the line. I believe that was out there.
Oh, no, they called it in. She called it in.
We got the glare of the ceilings. We're up here high above courtside here at Andrew Smith Court. It was tough to tell from our vantage point if that hit in or not, but when in doubt, trust the line judges, I suppose. 7-3 the score. Soft touch. Won't drop. Good play by Covenant to keep the possession alive. Colvin gets it over, and that one is out. Seemed like the same place as the last one, but
yeah, Hickey that time stepped in front. I think they were going to go attack, and Hickey stepped up in front. Maybe threw them off a little bit. 7-4 Heritage Christian.
Coach, from a fundamental standpoint, you are a firm believer that communication is the absolute key, especially in high-stakes plays like that.
Number one thing is you got to know, and you got to tell where your mate, and you got to tell your mate what you're doing. Because if you don't, you have confusion all over the floor. And that's where I think it's real important with senior leadership. That helps.
Colvin misread that spike attempt. 7-5. Covenant hanging around. They'll set up Phillips. Action in front of the net. Nice read that time by Lovey Wallace.
Lovey she has that big frame and 6'1". Lovey needs to play basketball. I know she did play basketball last year and gave it up, but good fundamentally and good athletic.
Maggie Ledbetter's service. Spike action at the net on that front line defense that time by Phillips and Wallace again.
Got to like the wall they set up. You know, that's big height. Hard to get over the hands.
It's been a staple of the Heritage Christian defensive attack all year long. Soft touch shot that time down for Covenant. 9-6, by far the best first game start we've seen on a Covenant broadcast all season long.
Yeah, and they're playing very well, and I think a lot of that has to do, it's Heritage Christian 1, 2, it's a conference game, and Coach got them fired up a little bit tonight.
The 5'8 freshman Bella Dart prepares her service. Overhand jump serve.
How about that? Nice serve.
Nice kick on that. Phillips goes down for the spike. Action at the net, and once again, it's the front of the net play by Heritage leading to the point.
Again, right over the net, and in volleyball, if you're neutral in and you smack, legal. If that's on Covenant's side and smack, that's an attack. You can't score there. Nice job by the officials lined up to make that call.
And strong discipline there by Heritage. That's an ace that time for Elizabeth Phillips. Again, one of our players to watch for on this Heritage team.
Now it's 11-6. This is a turning point of the game. If you get a run here, how's Covenant Christian going to respond? You need a side out real quick here.
Phillips, another ace. Coach, I didn't ask you this in pregame. Don't want to overuse it, but it's good in-game to bring it up. They're on the wrong side of where they want to be right now as Covenant, but how critical is this first game against a top 5 team in Heritage?
I think you got to win the first game, to be honest with you, because it gives you hope.
That one out.
But at 13-6, when do you call timeouts? Do you let them play through? There's a lot of things you can do as a coach. Coach Binky been around a couple years. She understands her girls. That's way wide.
Phillips' service over the back line, as Coach mentions there, so Covenant Christian gets the bleeding to stop temporarily. And also, I feel like for some coaches, as a substitution will take place for Covenant, that decision of do I call a timeout or do I let them play through it can fundamentally change the further you get into the season and where your team is record-wise, because at any point in time, this might be a learning experience to just go through it and live through it versus calling a timeout to kind of I don't want to say handhold, but when you call a timeout in situations like that, there is parenting and coaching involved there.
And that has to do a lot with sectional play. In sectional play, you're going to linger a long time before you make that timeout because you never know when you make that run. Nice job by Heritage Christian making that 14-8.
Wallace putting that one down as they are 11 points away from closing out game number 1 here in this best-of-5 set. Jimmy Cook, the coach, Keith Myers here at Andrew Smith Court for Indiana SRN's continued coverage of Indiana High School volleyball. Service by Ledbetter. Here comes Covenant Christian. Spike will go down.
And if you're a big fan of Indiana SRN and volleyball, just want to let you know that we have signed an agreement with Buff and Cathedral. We will do that game coming up in late September.
We were teasing last week.
Yes.
That one is airmailed by Covenant. It'll be a point to Heritage.
We have a few more games that we have put on the network because of sponsorships like you. If you want to continue to do that, we can add more game to our mix. We appreciate that. Email me at coach@indianasrn.org.
That drop serve by Snyder, the one that just kind of dies right as it goes over the net. Almost an ace, but the front line effort that time by Heritage leads to the point.
But you look at that front line, you know, you 5'9", 5'6", and you look on the other side, 6'1", 6 foot, a little bit of disadvantage there.
Just a tad, as the service will continue for Snyder. There it is again, and that one is an ace.
Like how she stretched out, though. Lily did a nice job. Timeout. Covenant Christian.
And we'll take one as well. 17-9 advantage Heritage over Covenant Christian. Stay with us. You're watching Indiana High School volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Today's games brought to you by Shin Technology Service Corporation. Technology is about humans and not about machines. Dave and his crew has provided 27 years of software needs. Give them a call. Shin Technology Service Corporation. You may reach him by phone at 317-545-3650 or shintechnology.com. For more information, contact Dave, 317-545-3650.
Want to know what I like best about playing basketball for my high school? I like it because it's a place where my friends get to see me play. I like it because I'm playing for someone besides myself. I'm playing for everybody in my school and every person in my community.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Welcome back to Covenant Christian High School on Andrew Smith Court. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. 17-9 your score. Covenant make the Heritage Christian rather with the service and that 8-point lead. Heritage trying to respond. Ledbetter sets up Phillips. Received by Nodder. Action in front of the net. Blocked. Quick to adjust. Ledbetter. Phillips. The rally continues. Nice play by Covenant Christian. Nodder. That one misread. Phillips. Ledbetter gets it over. Play in front of the net. Shot down. Impressive shot that time by Sanaya Borum, the senior on the outside. Gets that one to drop with a nice touch on the left-handed shot. Back within 7. Service for Sanaya. After that last point.
I would have tried to attack the back row here.
Colvin, that time the soft touch works for her.
Well, the front row would be fine too.
Yeah. There's at times when Heritage is at their very best where that's not pertinent. They can pick and choose where they want to go.
Right.
I agree with you in situationally speaking, at least how this game has gone, back row attack might not be a bad idea.
Zone 4, watch zone 4. That's where number 23 is lining up for Covenant Christian. We'll get her right.
Hickey's service. Nodder a bump.
Oh, that.
Good play by Heritage to keep it alive. Action in front of the net. Got through the defense, powered it home. That time I believe it was
Newport.
Danny Newport made some noise being called up last week.
I tell you what, you get that confidence built as a freshman, you'll be okay.
Can go a long way for you. No doubt about that. Cross-court shot. Over the mark that time by Myers. Makes it 18-12, the lead down to 6. Elizabeth Schaefer, the sophomore and setter, her service. In front of the net, Colvin throws it down.
She's the real deal.
Raven Colvin listed at 6 feet. You'd think she was 7 feet with that vertical. So try the overhand service that gets a let serve and in.
Man, that had to.
Well, they'll adjust, I believe. Let's see. Well, it looked like the line, the actual officials might have overruled the line judge, but they'll go with it. And the point to Heritage, 20-12. Colvin's service continues. Overhand shot. That one is out wide to the left. So Colvin didn't make the adjustment after she might have gotten away with the first one. And that leads now down to 7, 2013. Service for the freshman, Danny Newport. Colvin bumped it into the net. Another unforced error that time by Heritage. Give Newport the ace, and she'll go back for service as the Warriors are back within 6 in this first game. Colvin again might have misplayed that. Hickey gets it over. Soft touch shot. Read by Maggie, make that Snyder rather. Colvin airmailed that one out.
A little bit too strong.
Covenant back to the closest they've been to the early goings of this first game. They are within 5. Service continues for Danny Newport. That one is out. Tried to get it on the back line. No such luck. 21-15. Service for Maggie Ledbetter. And an ace.
You notice that time she rotated the ball a little bit different. It looked like a drop ball. Went to zone 4. No one answered the phone there.
See if she tries again. Ledbetter that
same
time.
Same place.
Another ace.
That's pretty consistent. I mean, if you're calling that and she's hitting that every single time, you're smiling as a coach.
Ledbetter trying to do it again.
Again.
That time, Covenant's ready for it. Adjustment, soft touch. Nice read that time by Kara Whitney, the senior.
That's hard. That's just really tough because she went after the corner. Nice job. Almost to the close to the campfire area.
Brings Covenant back within 7. Service for Bella Dart. She's been a strong player for this Covenant team as we've continued our broadcast of them so far. That shot long by Phillips. Another point for Covenant.
You know, Jimmy, you look at this, both of these teams, and they're just filling each other out. Not really, nobody's really dominating, which we thought would be done by Heritage Christian. They have not really dominated. Heritage Christian standing right by him.
Almost misplayed that time, but Phillips bails out Heritage. How does Covenant respond? Through the net on the block.
Bourne just had a nice job. Had the right eye, and had the right idea. Just didn't get across.
That'll bring us to game point. Elizabeth Phillips, the 5'10 junior, serving for the first game.
Nice rotation. Oh, nice effort.
Covenant unable to keep the possession alive, and that is game number 1. 25-17, Heritage takes game 1 over Covenant Christian in this best-of-5 set. Stay with us. We'll have more high school volleyball after this. You're watching on Indiana SRN.
Your home and office make up a big part of your world. Sometimes trying to manage it all on your own can make you feel like you have the weight of the world on your shoulders. And when the weight of the world is on your shoulders, you need a strong back or two to come to your rescue and haul your stress away. You need the College Hunks. Whether it's time to clear some space for new memories, to reinvent the room around you, or to simply pack up and move into a fresh new beginning, you can count on the Hunks to bear your burden so you don't have to. Let us move you today.
Piper Group Warehouse has a strong commitment to their clients as their logistics provider. If you would like to discover how you can improve your service levels while lowering your overall cost, Piper Logistics Group can help. Call Greg Piper today at 317-396-3916. Piper Logistics Group.
Welcome back to Covenant Christian High School. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. Heritage Christian takes game 1 over Covenant Christian 25-17, and the coach has all our first game numbers.
Thanks to Debbie Myers, the best stat keeper in the whole entire state of Indiana. If you need her to do your stats, just give me a call. No problem. I can get the number for you. Aces, you ready for this? Heritage Christian Aces 9.
Wow.
15 kills, 10 blocks, 8 unforced turnovers. For Covenant Christian, 2 aces, 7 kills, no blocks, 4 unforced turnovers. So one of the keys that Covenant Christian had was eliminate the unforced turnovers. You did that, but you didn't do a very good job of protecting the back side of your court. So very tough game for them as Heritage Christian wins 25-17. To let you know where these teams play on Thursday, because they both are in action Thursday. Covenant Christian travels to Indy Genesis. That is a homeschool power in the homeschool ranks. They will play them at Indy Genesis. And Heritage Christian will be playing city opponent Heron on Thursday. So only one game on the network for you this week for volleyball. Jimmy and I this one. And then next week I think we have like two, and then in a couple of weeks we got like 2 or 3. We're really busy.
Yeah, the volleyball schedule comes into full swing here on Indiana SRN as it does statewide. We're proud to bring that action to you each and every week. Coach, in that first game, it seemed like you mentioned in game number 1, both teams were kind of trying to feel each other out, but it seemed like towards the end there it might have been Heritage Christian feeling the competition a little too much, and by that I mean almost playing with their foot a little bit, trying to get things going.
Yeah, and I think what happens is, now what you do is, okay, you win this game 21-17, show me what you got. And if you're Covenant Christian, say, okay, we were in this game. We got beat, but we're in it. Show me what you got. So this is a telling tale. If you're Heritage, you want to win this game. If you're Covenant, you got to win this game.
I would say, though, and I think you'd agree with me here, pound for pound, the best game of volleyball on a broadcast we've seen for Covenant Christian so far this season.
Yes, I agree. Yeah, no question about that. They did seem like they were ready to play. They got here a little later than it. They came midway through the freshman game, so they haven't sat through those long games where a couple weeks ago they had to sit through the long game. Maybe that's what coaches figured out is, okay, let's not get our varsity kids here until maybe the start of the JV game and see if that works. You try anything. At 7-1, you try anything. At 1-9, let me tell you, at 1-9 you try anything. You try dinner. You try something to try to get a victory.
Katie Nodder the service as Covenant will start with it, and first point once again for the second game in a row goes to the Eagles of Heritage Christian.
Not a hard hit, just
nope.
Little. She has hit the ball pretty hard at all today.
Almost going to the opposite extreme of what her game usually is made up of. As the service by Snyder leads to a counterattack that's all the way into the far left side by Heritage. Be out.
Different zip code right there.
Yep.
High school
to Heritage.
High school football on Indiana SRN this week. 8 games. Check out our website, indianasrn.org.
Naya Borum service. Ledbetter receives. Snyder to Phillips. Make that Valentine, rather. That's out.
Had some great games this week, didn't we?
Man. The myself with Beech Grove and Cascade. That was a back and forth affair.
Yep.
Speaking of barn burners, so we both went tongue-tied with it. Looking forward to seeing Mount Vernon this week.
Yep. Get to see Mount Vernon, ranked 3rd in the area polls by Kyle and Never Rib. Did you see Class 3? Babuff, Guerin, and Chittard.
Wow.
How about that
the parochials. Action in front of the net, down by the front line of Heritage Christian.
all three schools in the Circle City Classic, Circle City Conference, 1, 2, 3. How do you like to win that conference?
Bragging rights all around.
Yeah. Nice shot by Hickey.
Page tried to ride the back line but could not. Be out. Back tied at 3.
So you're tied at 3-3, game number 2. Big points here.
Elizabeth Schaefer's service. Ledbetter receives. Phillips down. It's a good way to answer.
No protection around that area. You gotta fill that hole. That's responsibility of the libero there. You got to fill that spot there.
It'll switch to Heritage after the point, and the junior Raven Colvin, one of our players to watch for, will have that service. Always goes that overhand serve. Dart. Phillips soft touch. 2 straight points for her.
Yeah, same location. So they have figured out the weakness there. Now do you keep on attacking, and what zone do you go to serve?
Colvin service. Action blocked. Just barely gets it over and turns it into a point. How about that? Nice play that time by Haley Cooper, the senior.
Excellent play.
Coach, at one point in time for the volleyball novices watching around the world, at what point in time are you instructing your girls to pick the zone they're aiming for? Is that at right now, or is that before that first dribble? Is it even before they get the ball? Are you playing it as the match goes?
Usually I gave my signal to the server right after side out point. I wanted her to know right away where I wanted to go, and I was very consistent with that. Because it's real important, because you got the girls feel comfortable that way. A lot of coaches wait till they see how other teams are lining up. That's a great shot.
Kenny Newport, the ace, riding the left side, cross court with it.
Rachel was trying to move out of the way there because she didn't want the ball to hit her. She didn't think the ball was going to go in, and it died right there.
Just a slight misplay that time by Raven Colvin.
I'm pretty impressed with Covenant Christian this game. Game number 2.
Game number 2, and it's carried over to the start of game number 1 that they had. That one sailed and knocks us up at 6.
Okay, I owe that to him.
That's all right.
Good. That's fair. As I see down the field, our boss is here. CEO of Indiana SRN is in the gym talking to Andy Gossel. Maybe he's going to buy his supper after the game.
I don't know about that. Might be asking just a tad too much. Service.
Nice. Look at that. Nice aggressive play. Set your feet. Good.
The rally rolls on. Phillips. Nodder keeps that one going. Action right in front of the net. Dart. Nodder continues. They'll go back to Dart. What a rally. Closed out.
You lose that point, but you saw the aggressive play. They set their feet, moved, and their rotation was excellent everywhere. Just hit him where they was. Nice job.
Lovey Wallace with the play to finally kill the possession. Make it 7-6. Dart, soft touch, down.
Then you come back like that. Holy smokes.
Bella Dart, the 5'8 freshman, made plays all season long and knocks us up at 7.
Now you need separation if you're covering. You've played back and forth. Now you need 3, 4, 5 points here.
It'll be Dart's service. The jump serve. Action at the net. Nodder bumps Borum. Rode the line.
Maybe that set wasn't where she wanted it, and, Snyder did a nice job putting the ball over, but I tell you what, Dart did a nice job of coming back and hitting the ball.
Covenant with their first lead to this late in a game, not including the early stages.
Oh, just
misplayed.
flat out played it. Wow.
Wallace with the untimely whiff gives Covenant now their largest lead at this stage of a game, 9-7.
She doesn't seem to be a happy camper right now.
Nope. Got to forget it. Move on to the next point, though. Dart, service. Misread. Another ace.
When does Coach call timeout? You call it right now. You're down 10-7. game number 2. We'll be back right after this. You're watching Indiana SRN.
If you find yourself confronted by unwanted pests in your home or office, then you need to contact the professionals at Kim Mountain Pest Control. We offer quality pest control solutions at an affordable price. We specialize in ants and termites. We're also available to handle a variety of other pests, including roaches, fleas, and flying insects, as well as rats and mice. Don't wait until pests cause severe damage to your home or property. Contact the team of experts at Kim Mountain Pest Control today.
I don't think of this as a high school weight room. It's more like a high school classroom. I'm learning how to manage my time here. I'm learning that it's important to have goals and that it takes persistence and commitment to reach them. And I'm learning that the best way to lead is by example.
Indiana High School Sports. They're more than just a game.
Come and see me play.
Bella Darts service here at Covenant Christian High School out of the Heritage Christian timeout. Covenant on top, 10-7. Phillips just rode it on the far right corner. Thought it was going to be long when she first hit it, but she kept it in play. And ends a little run there by Covenant Christian.
You know, you have some coaches that will scream and yell in the huddle. You watch that during that timeout. No screaming, just talking. And you get their attention. And now you're in a driver's seat here. Now you got to make some points here.
Elizabeth Phillips service. Borum. Soft shot that time by Valentine. Whitney blocked.
Two hits.
Point to Heritage, 10-9.
You know, that's an easy call for the official because your fingers move back as you hit the ball.
Nodder. Soft touch. Snyder. That's up Valentine. Powered through the block. Knocks us up at 10.
You're right there, but she just powered the ball over.
Sometimes that's the best offense against the block attempt on defense. Just power right through it. Cross court. Snyder, nice touch. That one sailed by Whitney, and 4 straight points by Heritage.
Yeah, they're down, and now they're up. Could be very interesting here.
Nodder with the kill. Katie Nodder, the sophomore, operating right in the middle that time, and able to put that right in the middle to tie us back at 11. Lily Koltoff.
That's a late call. They called a back row attack, Jimmy. So now Covenant Christian, Heritage Christian scores. It's 12-10.
Late calls like that a rarity?
No, but as an official, as a coach, you just want them to be consistent. You want to be going quickly. It throws you off because you brought in a substitute. Now you can't take that substitute out. Now you got to play somebody you don't in a position you want to play.
And it's a 3-point swing to boot as it's 13-10 Heritage, and service continues. One of our players to watch for, Elizabeth Phillips, her overhand standing serve. A response by Covenant. Now action in front of the net, spike right into the net that time, just misread by Lovey Wallace. The sophomore is very raw at times, plenty of opportunity to still get that under control as she continues to develop as a player, but the power's there, it's just...
That's why she's a sophomore.
Exactly. Pulse off service, that time long. 14-11 your score. This is at one point a 10-7 advantage for Covenant Christian. Since then, Heritage outscored them 7-1. Since that timeout called by Kyla Thomas. Tough shot for Borum. Snyder. Fake to Colvin. Back to Phillips now, and that'll be a point. Nice misdirection that time by the Heritage Christian offensive attack.
Now, if you're Heritage Christian, what you want to do here is push all 10 points against Covenant. You want to make an indentation of this game. You want to make it a solid win.
Nice read by Ledbetter.
How about that?
And that time again airmailed, but Valentine the guilty party on that one.
Is there a wind current somewhere in the gym, or?
I feel a little breeze, but not enough for the type of aerial overshots we've had by Heritage so far tonight. Nodder a running serve. Now I'll say this, and I admire the play by the senior Olivia Valentine, but that's 2 straight possessions now where they faked like they're going to Colvin and they've gone to Valentine, and it's ended in some type of unforced error.
Yep.
They haven't utilized a lot of, in our minds anyway, Colvin's strengths of powering it down.
I think a lot of that, though, Jimmy, is it's still early in the year, and you want to see what you got, and just,
not relying on one component all the time.
Exactly.
I get that. Snyder, the service. Action in front of the net. Borum powered through for the point.
Covenant Christian has stayed right toe and heel to these guys today.
Give them credit. After this one, regardless of the way things go, win or lose, you'll know that the record is not indicative of the overall play and talent on this Covenant Christian roster.
Good point.
Dart powers through again. We're back within 1.
And you're believing in yourself right now. See Coach Binky over there just giving him the praise.
Borum, jump serve. Good play by Ledbetter. And they'll work again that time to Valentine.
We were up there in the block. It just slipped right through. That's a tough play.
Mm-hmm.
And there's nothing else you can do once it falls through.
Valentine's service. Nodder played that slightly awkwardly, but it worked out. Colvin, there it is. Easy as pie. Raven Colvin.
Let me get it,
dented
Coach.
The court on that one.
Yeah, let me get that one.
And the lead is 3. Olivia Valentine continues her service, the 5'6" senior. Jump serve, sailed that one. I'll say this much, Coach, and no discredit to what Covenant Christian has done at this point in time, but Heritage Christian is definitely helping that cause with some of the unforced errors we've had tonight.
Yeah, the unforced error is definitely there tonight.
Elizabeth Schaefer, the 5'6" sophomore, serves it up. Ledbetter there. Colvin, that's a point.
Exactly. The interesting thing is for Covenant Christian, number 4, Cooper, was in the back row. She made the attempt, but I tell you what, that was there a lot quicker than what she thought that ball was coming.
And we talked about it in our very first match of the year when it was Heritage and Guerin Catholic. If you're going to commit against Colvin, you need to do it right at the point of attack. You can't wait for it and hope that you're going to get a dig out of it. Playing in front of the net continues. Overhand set. Misplayed by Heritage Christian. Slight lack of communication that time.
Again, no one talked there. The ball's up in the air. Someone has to take control.
So 19-17. Again, since that 10-7 Covenant lead, they've been outscored 12-7, but Heritage still very much alive in this thing. Hickey. And that one is down by Wallace.
I kind of like Gracie Ledbetter that time. Gracie Ledbetter was talking every single time and going to that player and tell them where to go. That's good leadership. That's exactly what you want your libero to do. You want them to be involved. You want to be the floor general out there.
Maggie Ledbetter, her sister, the service, almost got the let serve to drop. Dart, down. How about Bella Dart? Continues to impress on each one of these broadcasts we've done. Whenever Covenant Christians needed a point of attack, they go to the freshman, and she delivers 9 times out of 10.
You're going to see her for 4 years, Jimmy.
Scary thought for the rest of the Circle City Conference.
No.
Let's serve there. Ace for her. Covenant back within 1.
You got to be really happy with how you're playing here.
Continuing to improve as this season goes on, at least in games we've seen, but that one Dart sails. 21-19, critical juncture here with the service to Phillips. They're 4 points away.
And, you know, sometimes people say you play to your competition. I don't believe that at all. I think if you come prepared and ready to play, you're the best competition you have. You have to play yourself. Nice.
Nice attack by Heritage Christian. You clearly didn't watch Notre Dame Louisville last night.
No comment.
Timeout taken. We'll stay here. 22-19 the score. Simply just to play to your competition standpoint.
You just had to bring it up.
Hey, I'm a big supporter of the Irish, but in any sport, if you play down and aren't mentally there, you could sleepwalk for a half and doom yourself, or you could sleepwalk through one game and suddenly it's a 3-point ball game. Jokes aside, though, you're exactly right to your point in that right now, anyway, I don't think there's playing down to competition. I fully believe this is some of the best volleyball we've seen from Covenant Christian so far this year.
Yeah, I do. I agree.
Again, we mentioned Heritage Christian taking game number 1, 25-17. And right now in this one, 22-19, Covenant still right there, just a 3-point deficit. But with one of our players to watch for, Elizabeth Phillips, having service for Heritage, this is a critical juncture in the match.
Good timeout, though, here by Covenant Christian. Good timeout to see what they got.
See how they respond. If it pays dividends. Colvin, nice dig that time by Notter. Almost created a point out of it. Make that Valentine, rather, I should say. She'll try again, and that one's in the net.
Kind of like what Covenant Christian did, Jimmy, that time. They forced them to bring it up 30 feet. And a nice recovery. Just couldn't finish here. Now you're only down by 2, and you got one of the best servers you have on your team.
That service belongs to Lily Koltoff.
Sophomore.
Valentine got all that one.
Wow.
2 points away, and service switches to Heritage. Not only that, but Valentine, Wallace quickly checks out, and Raven Colvin back in, one of the apex attackers on this Heritage front line. Service will belong to Gracie Ledbetter, the libero and 5'6" junior. Ledbetter kept that alive. Fake to Colvin. Valentine. Good play that time. Gets it back to Notter. Almost dropped. Good adjustment. Solid rally all around. Colvin tried to power through, but great defense that time. Soft touch. Good answer, but it's out.
Wow. They played aggressively to Colvin 2 times back-to-back.
We talked about it just a few minutes ago. That's the only way to play her. You have to do it with confidence, and you have to do it precisely. No hesitation. Koltoff service continues. Back within 2. They go back to her. Colvin powered through. Good read. Another point for Covenant Christian.
Now you start believing, don't you?
Yep.
Everybody in the gym that's wearing maroon is believing. Timeout, Heritage Christian. We'll take a break with you. Watching Indiana SRN.
I think the best thing that our ministry offers is that when the women come in and they are pregnant and they've reached our scan dates, which are 6 weeks, 4 days to 14 weeks, we're able to image them with ultrasound.
Seeing the image on the screen and hearing a heartbeat clarifies that it is truly life and not just a clump of cells.
You can see babies sucking their thumbs. You can see them running their hands over their heads.
It shows them what God is doing on the inside that they don't feel or don't even think is real, but they see a real image of a real baby on the screen.
It just breaks my heart when a woman, no matter what her circumstances are, that she decides to end that intrauterine pregnancy, that she decides.
Lily Koltoff service to try to tie us up. Covenant Christian down 1 with the attack.
4 hits.
And that one's 4 hits against Covenant.
Boy, that's a tough break.
And it'll be game point, a turn of events here at Andrew Smith Court on the campus of Covenant Christian High School. Lily Snyder, the 5'9" junior, serving for the game and a 2-0 set lead. Puts it down. Miscommunication on the back line. Game to Heritage. Well, it was tightly fought by Covenant. One of their best games we've seen all year, but it goes to Heritage 25-22. They lead 2-0 in this best-of-5 set. Stay with us. We'll have more after this. You're watching high school volleyball on Indiana SRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment, whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Welcome back to Covenant Christian High School on Andrew Smith Court. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. Heritage Christian on top of Covenant Christian, 2-0, victorious in game number 2, 25-22. Coach has game 2 stats and full game numbers at this point. Coach.
Aces for the Heritage Christian Ball Club had 2 that game. 13 kills, 3 blocks, and 10 unforced turnovers for the night. 11 aces, 28 kills, 13 blocks. And here's where this is where you need to improve. 18 unforced turnovers. You got to get better there. For Covenant Christian, they're playing very, very well. 3 aces, 10 kills, no blocks, 9 unforced turnovers for the night. 5, 17, 0, and 13. If you're Covenant Christian, yeah, you're down 2-0, but you're playing very well, and you're leading the unforced turnovers, and that was one of your goals to come in tonight of getting that down.
We talked about it off air in between our commercial breaks about how both of these huddles right now, there's a lot of smiles all over the place. There's a lot of, just good vibes overall about the play that's happened on the floor. Even despite that, though, Covenant Christian, you look at it, they're down 2 games to none. How do you keep that positive energy and maybe steal one here down the stretch defending some home turf?
You need to steal one, but if you don't, you got to look at what you set out to do tonight, and that's to stay competitive.
Right.
You definitely stayed competitive. You lost 25-17, and you lost 25-22, but you've been in both games. You look at rosters. Yes, both teams are young, but your freshman's doing very well. Dart's done a nice job tonight for Covenant Christian. So that's, yeah, you want to win, but you want to improve. And I think Covenant Christian has seen improvement tonight.
We've seen a lot of experiments from Heritage Christian in terms of their offensive attack. Usually they're relying on the play of Raven Colvin. How have you liked mixing in the other girls so far tonight? And at what point do you maybe pull it back and be like, let's just get out of here and go with what we know?
Yeah, that's it. That would be the $10,000 question, Jimmy, because I don't know what you've done, because you've already set and you've already planned this. So do you go away from it, or do you stick with your plans?
We'll have to wait and see. Service will be to Ledbetter, as Heritage Christian has scored the first point in both of the first 2 games. That ends there as Covenant strikes blood first in game number 3.
You're only 10 games into the season, which a lot of people think that's a lot. You got a lot more volleyball to play.
Katie Notter will have the service for Covenant, and that one takes a bad carom off the net. Ties us up at 1. Lily Snyder, the 5'9" junior, will have the first serve of this 3rd game for Heritage. They lead it 2-0.
Coaches played for Heritage Christian. Coaches played everybody but one player tonight.
Nice play that time by Borum.
Boren's played pretty well. quietly.
This whole Covenant Christian roster as a whole, really. I mean, but you're right, though. Borum has been a true cog in the machine of Covenant Christian's attack tonight, but really top to bottom. Can't stress it enough. This is one of the best we've seen from them. They lose the ball?
We cannot play without a volleyball. I think our CEO had it. He hit it. There it is. Uh-oh. Oh, nice
Good
job.
answer that time by Covenant. Can they get a point out of it? Phillips on the back line, sailed it.
Maybe the set was a little bit too long. Who knows? But Covenant Christian now in the lead here, 3-1. Again, very consistent play.
Overhand service. Colvin tried to power through, but again, good answer by the Covenant Christian front line. Heritage too fast. 3-2.
You know, when that front line jumps like that, that kind of intimidates you, and she just didn't make the right connection there.
It's been interesting to see Colvin grow through those as you see more and more teams try to key on that. Paige Hickey, the 5'2 junior, will have the service. Likes to implement a little jump serve. The answer from Covenant.
Newport, quietly.
First big play we've seen from Danny, at least of emphasis like that tonight. Lily Koltzoff checks out, and service goes to Elizabeth Schaefer, the 5'6 sophomore. 4-2 the score. Make it 4-3 as that one's into the net. Service back to Heritage. They lead 2 games to none.
Those unforced turnovers right there really hurt you because you can build on leads, and now you're down. You're only up by 1. Good service here.
Colvin, the ace. She's impressed when she's had the service all year long. First real point of emphasis we've seen from her tonight back there.
Saw Kara Whitney right there, just couldn't retrieve that ball.
Good effort nevertheless. Tied at 4. Dart blocked. Go other side. That one in the back corner for Whitney. 5-4. A lot of fight in this Covenant Christian Warriors roster. Give them credit. This is at least the 3rd or 4th game we've done featuring them this year, and by far the most active, the most physical, the most all-around great game and match we've seen from them to this point. Whitney, not that time. Miscommunication.
Yep. That comes from the libero 16, Ledbetter, coming in. She needs to yell at the scream of her voice, and there's no communication there. The ball goes wide.
Service continues for Newport. They lead at 6-4. That one in.
Wow.
Nice play by Abby Menon. First time we've called her number this evening.
A little bit with authority.
Brings Heritage back within 1.
You know, we've had good crowds every game we've been to as well, and another good crowd on here at Covenant Christian.
Showing the support all across Central Indiana for both teams. Maggie Ledbetter, I should say, service before this rally began. Action in front of the net. Good defense that time by Snyder and Wallace to tie us up at 6.
You know what? That time what Lily did, though, is she called Wallace off the ball, and she finished.
5'6 junior, Maggie Ledbetter. Her service continues. One of those serves that just dies right after it goes over the net. And a nice play by Wallace in front of the net.
That was effortless. She didn't even jump.
Nope. 6-1 has its ups. Ledbetter continues the service. First lead of the game for Heritage. Ledbetter kept that alive, but it's sailed to the left by Wallace.
playing some balls, maybe, Jimmy, they should just need to stay away. I think that ball was out, but you brought it back in. So you got to really finish that. You got to know what you're doing here.
Yep, communication and focus are a critical part of success, especially for Heritage Christian.
Good
Dark
set.
Service. Phillips misplayed it slightly. 8-7. Coach, I'll tell you this much, and no knock to what Kyla Thomas has developed in this 7-1 roster. There's a reason that they're there, but if you look at the sample size of these last, we'll say 7 games that we've called of, and by 7 games I mean 7 individual games, then those matches of Heritage Christian, this still looks like at times the sloppiness we saw at Rebuff.
Yeah, I think a little bit of that is, again, no knock on the coach, but they're getting used to her way of coaching.
Right.
So that may get you 11 or 12 games before you understand that. Sooner or later you'll understand and you'll get it, because I will tell you, Heritage Christian is the real deal, and they will play very, very well coming down the stretch. And, you know,
Heritage is the point there.
You're playing some tough competition too, Jimmy.
That's what I was about to say. The credit to the Circle City Conference. We talked about it all year long, how strong it is. This is a testament to it right here. Misplayed that time by Valentine. Good play by Phillips to keep it alive. Valentine gets some redemption. Spike down that time by Sanaya Borum. Nodis up at 9. Lee Koltoff checks back in for Covenant Christian, gives a rest to Kara Whitney.
And to finish that thought, though, if you consistently still win, you win ugly, it's still a win, and that's good for you coming down the stretch.
Yeah, we talked about it with some of the Rebuff coaching staff last week that kind of reiterated that same rule of thought, that in this conference, because it's so good, maybe you play ugly right now, as that's a point for Heritage Christian. Even if you play ugly right now, due to the level of talent competition in this conference, it's preparing you for those struggles, tests, and tribulations that will occur in postseason play.
Yeah, especially the next level when it comes down to what I call the money tournament. Oh, that's a nice play. They called a net violation. That's a tough call.
Against Covenant. Make it 11-9. Critical stretch here.
Lexi Bright got caught in the net. That's tough.
Gracie Ledbetter. She'll have her service through the net. 11-10. Service back to Nodder. Misplayed that time by Phillips around the 10-foot line. Tied at 11. Mark, this is a critical juncture in game 3. Nodder's cross-court service. That time Phillips was more ready. Colvin almost got it down. Good dig that time.
You got to go get the
Catano.
ball.
Will they set up? Valentine, good read. Colvin, good adjustment. Newport. Now the work to Colvin. That one almost down. Good read that time again by Catano. They go to Colvin again. It will not. They'll go to Valentine. Down for the kill.
That time, a couple of times, Heritage Christian, Covenant Christian got away with just standing and watching someone else play. You can't. You got to keep on moving, especially the back row. That time when they brought the back over, they went right down to the back row. No one there.
Those little things can be the difference makers.
Well, that's a point.
Ends what was a beautiful rally. 12-11 advantage Heritage. What's the answer? It's a point. Nice power through that time by Sanaya Borum. Well, the match has been dark at times for Covenant in the mid-trenches of these games, but seems like whenever they need a call answered, it's either Sanaya Borum or Bella Dart there to answer it. Service for Borum. They'll go to Colvin. Heritage, that one wide left. Lead to Covenant.
You know, you take a look at the bench at Covenant Christian, there's just confidence there.
Like we said, playing loose. Ledbetter to Colvin in the net. Misread it. Tied for the largest lead at this stage of a game so far tonight at 2, 14-12 for Covenant.
I think the next one you got to cut timeout. You got to settle them down.
Borum almost the let serve. Phillips called for it. Soft touch. Good read that time by Snyder. Good play by Newport. And is it a timeout? Is Coach right? Yes, it is. 15-12, advantage Covenant Christian. You're watching Indiana SRN.
Burtner Electric Incorporated has been proudly serving our residential and commercial customers with quality electrical repair for over 33 years. We are fully licensed and insured in electrical wiring and electrician service packages. You'll receive a competitive assessment whether you're a homeowner or a business owner, first-time or long-time customer. We offer free estimates for any new project. Call our licensed and experienced electricians today.
Sanaya Borum's service as Heritage Christian looks to respond with it. Now back to Covenant Christian's attack. Right through the front line defense of Heritage. And the largest lead at any point in time in the game for Covenant at 4.
Can they sneak one by them?
We talked about it going into this third and what would be final game. Depending on if Covenant Christian would get off the mat, would they take one for home court pride? Colvin might have other ideas. She does. Sends it down. That's the one unique thing about Colvin's play, though. When she goes up, about a 90% chance that you as the viewer can look at her form and know whether it's going to be a point or know whether the other team has any hope.
And I think that as the season goes on, the consistency of that will be very evident. Double hit. Yep, 2.
And we've seen junctures for Covenant all night long. Heritage made their fair share of unforced errors also, but there's been junctures where Covenant's either had a lead or had an advantage, and they've had some of those miscues that have been the difference maker. Action in front of the net. Nice play, and a little friendly trickle off the net for Covenant.
Got away with that unforced turnover because that landed on the Heritage side, but that's not exactly where you wanted to go. You wanted to go directly on the other side, on strong side.
Elizabeth Schaefer's service, 17-14.
At this point, though, a point is a point.
Nice play in front of the net, but Colvin's there to keep it alive. Phillips, overhand shot, might have gotten away with that. 2 hits.
Well, it also held the back, and I don't know if he called. Did he call the 2 hits?
He pointed to 2.
Okay.
We would have had to not only
the ministry.
we would have had to worry not only about the roof from now on at venues we go to, but also with the backboards in play or not.
Yeah.
Because some places they call that still active. As we debate whether or not there's consistency amongst the ceilings of Central Indiana. It's another point for Heritage Christian, 17-16.
At least this is not a low ceiling where
it's
we're
not.
used to.
You're right.
That's for sure.
You're right. Some point in time around the 60s or 70s, architects for gymnasiums in Central Indiana were like, we don't have to make these so small. There's a point for Covenant. We can actually put some space in between the ground and the roof.
Was in a gym the other day at Yorktown. That ceiling is way up there.
See, I'd rather it be that extreme. I'd rather it be too high up and too low to the ground.
Good hit here.
Phillips almost airmailed that. Critical juncture. Ned Better tries to set up Phillips. That's in the stands. Good play.
Okay, now if you're Heritage, 2 things you have to do. You need to finish the rest of the game. You got to go strong.
The second thing you have to do is be consistent, and you have to use communication skill. This is too close to let this slide by.
Service for Maggie Ledbetter. Hickey there. I'll go to Phillips. Dart. Back to Phillips again. Good read. Rally continues. That one's in the net. Misplayed.
Good job by Snyder there with protecting the net there. Good job. Now you're tied. Now, if you're Covenant, what you have to do is you've been in the game all along. You just have to communicate well and just sneak one by him.
It's a race to 7 now. Maggie Ledbetter service. Nice adjustment right at the point of attack by Phillips. Good hand-eye.
Rachel knew exactly what to do with that ball, too.
Timeout taken by Covenant Christian. Will stay here. 19-18 the score, advantage. Heritage Christian. Coach, you mentioned it. Finish and be consistent if you are Heritage. Is that the similar message in the huddle right now?
This is, yeah, I think it's interesting as Coach is over there talking to the setter, Snyder. The other coaches are around the whole entire team communicating. So she knows exactly what she wants to do with the setter. There's something you watch right now. Lovey's going to be very interesting. I think Lovey or Rachel could be the key here to finish this out.
For Covenant, it would be an unfortunate flip of the script given that, like you mentioned, 1-9 coming in, but to be so close at so many times throughout this match only to come away short in this game. How do you rise above that and try to close back into this game?
You know, if I'm Coach Binky, I'm pretty happy about my girls playing. Yes, I want to win, but they've got spirit today.
Mm-hmm. No doubt. Most great vibes and enthusiasm we've seen from them all year long, and the play has been phenomenal as well. Nodder, nice hit. Heritage goes to Phillips. Nodder will set up Dart. Blocked. Oh. Nice play that time by Wallace. Well, he said they might go to Lovey, Coach, and they did there.
You know, both of these teams play Thursday night. If you play off of this, it could be very good if you're Covenant Christian. Play consistent.
Lots of good marks on film for sure. Whitney.
Got a net violation on Bright. Just follow through. Just slightly touch that net.
That's all it takes for the violation. 3 straight points by Heritage. That time, Ledbetter left it short.
Like a drop ball that time. Got to follow a little bit, follow through here. Mm-hmm. Bella Dart.
Been a playmaker the freshman has for Covenant. She'll have the service at this important point in the match. They'll go to Phillips. That's down.
Wow.
And credit.
Took the running leap.
Yeah, I was going to say that, but also mention to you, Coach, credit to Heritage Christian because this is all continuing to the point of getting others involved. Coleman's been on the bench for this whole stretch.
Yes.
Letting the other junior power in Elizabeth Phillips get her money's worth. Wallace misplayed that. Ooh. Phillips kept it alive. Phillips kept it alive. Now Covenant powered through. Attempted dive just out of the reach of Phillips and a critical point for Covenant.
She adjusted that ball in air. She wanted to go somewhere else and just put that spin on that hit. Nice job. I tell you what, Covenant Christians played really, really well.
Like we've mentioned time and time again on this broadcast, best game we've seen from them so far this year. Good play at the net by Snyder with a little misdirection. Has Heritage 2 points away.
Okay, this is where you go to zone 5 to finish this out. And that's right where number 23 is. Let's see where she goes.
Ledbetter. Gracie had the service. Now she keeps that one alive. Colvin checked back in, but they won't go to her. It'll be a powered through by Valentine. Match point setting up.
I like how the senior just hit the ball real hard, and then they were ready for the ball to be brought back over. Game point.
Gracie Ledbetter for the game and the match. That sailed, and that's the ball game. Well, Heritage gets the clean sweep here, but Covenant made them earn every point they got tonight. And not only that, but by far the most impressive showing by Covenant Christian. As you mentioned, they'll fall to 1-10, but so much positive action by Covenant tonight. So many points to grow from. And if you are head coach Brooke Binke, you have to think that this is a strong turning point in the season for you.
I think you go home and you watch this. If you're Coach Binke, you go watch this, and then you let the girls watch it and show them how good they played tonight. Yes, you lose, and now you're 1-10, but you can play on this for Thursday. You play a very good homeschool team who dominates in the homeschool area. Maybe not as good as competition as 2A schools, but very consistent. Maybe that's an opportunity where you get an opportunity to get a win, but you lose 25-17, 25-22, 25-20 in the fifth-place team and fifth-ranked team in 2A. It's not too shabby. You walk out here, you lost, but you got to feel pretty good how you played.
This third and final game was a 1 point in time, tied at 18 apiece. At that 18 apiece mark, Heritage Christian outscores Covenant Christian to 7-2 to take the match. Jimmy Cook alongside the coach Keith Myers. Thank you so much for spending part of your evening with us for high school volleyball coverage. We still got a little bit more to wrap up here on the post-game show, and that, of course, includes the final numbers from game number 3 and from the match. The coach has those.
Yeah, you got 14 total aces for Covenant Christian, 41 kills, 17 blocks, unforced turnovers 26. For Covenant Christian, 16 aces, 28 kills, 1 block, 1 lone block, that's not bad, and 22 unforced turnovers. The unforced turnovers late in the game, in game 1, 2, and 3, kind of put Heritage Christian over the top.
Let's start first with Covenant Christian as we wrap things up. Where is the lessons learned from this game? Where are the talking points that Coach Binke is going to take away from this one, knowing that this is by far the best performance we've seen from them to this point?
For Covenant Christian, talking points is you played well, you played higher level than you have been in a long time. Let's consistently play that way. You got a lot of good things out of your freshmen, but I was real impressed with the juniors as well. They played very well. Real pleased with Bourne. So you're getting there. You're getting to, and maybe where your schedule is, you're getting to a point where you can get some wins.
On the Heritage Christian side of things, you bounce back after the last time we saw them losing to Rebuff. Whether or not it is Heritage experimenting with new things they do well, or whether or not it is sloppy struggles early on, how do you get back to winning ways?
You won tonight, so you won ugly tonight. So now Thursday, you work on the things you've already done. Sometime, someplace, you'll be happy where you are, and then you'll play consistency, and that's where you want to be. By game 15, 16, when we see them in a couple weeks, I think they'll be well-oiled fighting machine.
He's the coach. I'm Jimmy Cook. That about wraps it up here from Covenant Christian High School. Our only volleyball broadcast this week comes to an end. But
really?
Be sure, I know, I'm bummed too, but be sure to stick around to IndianaSRN.org for all the on-demand coverage, and then we will have another football Friday night action all across the state with all the games we're covering. Go to IndianaSRN.org or at IndianaSRN for all of those games that we'll be covering. Until next time, again, our final here, Heritage Christian takes care of Covenant Christian 3-0 for the coach Keith Myers and our entire staff and crew. This is Jimmy Cook saying so long, everybody.